Hey everyone, and welcome. Have you ever watched your dog meet a new friend at the park and just thought, man, is all that butt sniffing really necessary? Or maybe you've just wondered what on earth is going through your cat's mind. Well, today we are going to decode one of the most common, and let's be real, one of the weirdest behaviors in the entire animal kingdom. We're diving nose first into the incredible science of the sniff.
I mean, it's a scene every pet owner knows, right? You're trying to have a nice walk or you have guests over and suddenly there's a dog's nose in a place you really didn't expect it to be. So what is this obsession all about? Is it just some weird random quirk? Well, as we're about to find out, it's actually an incredibly sophisticated form of communication.
So let's start with dogs because they're kind of the masters of this. When a dog sniffs another dog's rear, it is so much more than just saying a quick hello. It's actually doing a full background check. So think of it less like a casual handshake and more like a detailed, high-speed data scan.
Okay, so the science behind this is actually super cool. Tucked away on either side of a dog's anus are these two little sacs called anal glands. Now, these glands secrete a totally unique chemical cocktail, and that cocktail acts just like a personal ID card, and it's absolutely packed with information.
And seriously, what an ID card it is. Just imagine, in one single sniff, a dog can figure out the other dog's gender, a rough idea of its age, its current health status, and even its emotional state, like, is this dog stressed out, happy, or feeling aggressive? Oh, and they can also tell if the other dog is available to mate. That is an insane amount of data to exchange in just a couple of seconds.
I love this quote because it just puts it all into perspective perfectly. For us, a handshake is just a simple greeting. But for dogs, this sniff is that and a whole lot more. It's like a formal introduction and a rapid-fire exchange of personal resumes, all rolled into one. It is simply their most efficient way to get to know a total stranger.
Okay, so if this is all just information gathering, why does it sometimes blow up into a fight? Well, the sniff itself is almost never the actual problem. The problem is the information they get during the sniff. And it's all about the body language of both dogs. So let's take a look at what that body language is telling us.
So on one side, you've got your friendly, happy greeting. See how their bodies are relaxed? Maybe a nice, gentle tail wag and a quick, mutual sniff. Everybody's cool, everybody's calm. But on the other side, these are the red flags. A stiff, rigid body, a tail held way up high, and a hard, direct stare. Those are all signals that things are tense and could get ugly fast.
So what exactly triggers that tension? Well, a lot of the time, it's hormones clashing, especially between two unneutered males whose scents are basically screaming, "I'm competition." Other times, that stiff body language is read as a direct challenge. And sometimes, it's just a pure contest of wills, where neither dog is willing to be the one to back down. The key thing to remember here is that these fights almost never come out of the blue. The warning signs are pretty much always there first.
All right, let's just go there. We have to address the elephant in the room. What about when dogs do this to us? It can be more than a little awkward, but believe it or not, there's a simple scientific reason for it, and it is probably not what you're thinking. Believe it or not, the reason is actually pretty simple. The human groin area is packed with sweat glands, specifically these things called apocrine glands, and they produce scents that are just full of social information. So for a dog's super powerful nose, that area is just the most concentrated source of data about you they can find.
And what they learn is kind of mind-blowing. A dog can sniff out your gender, they can pick up on hormonal changes if you're pregnant, and they can definitely tell if you were just cuddling with another dog or a cat. They're not trying to be rude, they're just trying to read your human ID card as fast as they can.
Okay, let's switch gears and talk about our feline friends. Cats, well, they operate on a completely different social wavelength. While dogs are super direct and get right to the point, cats are all about slow, careful, methodical etiquette. So, yeah, cats do engage in butt sniffing, but it's way, way less common, and it is definitely not the first step in their greeting process. When it comes to socializing, they are the absolute definition of a slow burn.
For cats, there's a very specific, very proper social protocol. It all starts with observation from a safe distance. Then comes a slow, cautious approach. The first actual point of contact is sniffing the face and head, which also have important scent glands. If, and only if, that goes well, they might rub their bodies against each other to exchange more scent. And only after all of those steps are checked off is a rear sniff even a possibility.
In this whole step-by-step process, it is all about understanding and respecting boundaries. For a cat, rushing this process is the ultimate social mistake. I mean, it's seen as incredibly rude and can even be taken as a threat.
So why might a cat just say nope to an introduction? Well, it usually boils down to two things. First, they're really strong territorial instincts. The rear is a vulnerable position, and a cat has to feel totally safe to let another animal get near it. And second, the social protocol was broken. If another animal just skips right to the end, that's an immediate red flag.
But, and here's where it gets really interesting, what about when they seem to want you to pay attention to that exact spot? You know, so many cats absolutely love being scratched or petted right there at the base of their tail. So what's going on there? Well, it all comes down to biology. That one little spot, right at the base of the tail, is just this powerhouse of nerve endings and scent glands. So when you pet them there, it's like a double whammy. The stimulation feels incredibly good to them, kind of like a massage, and at the same time, you're helping them mark you with their scent. It's a win-win.
And this is where you get that classic elevator butt move, right? Where they lift their rear way up in the air. That is a clear sign of pleasure, of trust, of pure enjoyment. But, and this is a really crucial point, a word of caution. For some cats, that intense pleasure can flip a switch and become overstimulating really fast. 1 second they're loving it, and the next they might turn and bite just to say, okay, that's enough. So the next time you see your pet doing what looks like a strange, quirky ritual, just remember there's a really complex conversation happening right there in front of you. Understanding the secret language of scent doesn't just solve a funny mystery. It helps you better understand the amazing animal you share your life with. So the real question is, now that you know a little bit more of their language, are you really listening?